Rovio's latest launch Angry Birds Dream Blasts of X $9 million, $7 million in gross bookings during its first 3 months out, an income boost that helped the company report a 12.3% increase in gross bookings for its whole games business at launch. That puts Dream Blast as Rovio's third highest-earning title, just behind Angry Birds Friends, and its top earner Angry Birds Tour. Games gross bookings, a figure Rovio uses to capture in-app purchases and in-app advertising sales, came in at $65.8 million, $73.3 million for the first quarter, a 3% increase from the $58.6 million, $65.2 million reported during the first quarter of the year prior. Angry Birds still continues to be the company's big earner in its games business, bringing in $32 million, $35.6 million in gross bookings all on its own. The company says that the GAMEG agreed W 48% year-on-year and has generated $285,370.4 million in gross bookings since its 2015 release, across its top 5 games, including Angry Birds Tour, Friends, Dream Blast, Angry Birds Match, and Angry Birds Pop. Rovio also says it's been able to maintain stable daily active users and monthly unique players as well. The influx of new players for the January release Angry Birds Dream Blast helped to offset any decline in older titles, thanks in part to the $23.7 million, $26.4 million the company spent on user acquisition this quarter. As a whole, the Rovio Group's revenue increased by 7.8% year-over-year and came in at $79 million, $78.9 million this quarter. It's a boost led by the games business, which reported $66.3 million, $73.8 million in revenue, as revenue for Rovio's brand licensing segment fell by just over 50% year-over-year to $6 million, $5.1 million, due to low revenue from the Angry Birds movie. In this DD 2012 talk, Great Darius Marcus Montoya discusses Shadow Cities, the first location-based morph in the world, and some of the key lessons from the early days of novel location-driven video games. Montoya goes over a few points, including how using the real world to guide level design made the game inherently unfair, and the difficulty of finding the solutions for game design tactics that were no longer applicable. It was an insightful talk that's definitely still worth watching, so developers should not miss the opportunity to do so now that it's freely available on the official GD YouTube channel. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings, and slides from many of the recent game developers conference events, and the service offers even more members-only content for DD Vault subscribers. Those who purchased all access passes to recent events, like DD, would already have full access to DD Vault, and interested parties can apply for the individual subscription via DD Vault subscription page. Group subscriptions are also available. Game-related schools and development studios who sign up for DD Vault Studio subscriptions can receive access for their entire office, accompanied by contacting staff via THEGDC Vault Group subscription page. Finally, current subscribers with access issues can contact DD Vault technical support. Gamasutra and DD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Former Telltale CEO talks about fostering a culture that made it difficult for devs to walk away from the content and just say, I am going home. Game Informer has published its in-depth story on Telltale Games, speaking to a number of developers, both aimed and anonymous, to track the studio's practices, triumphs, and unfortunate decline. The full story published on Game Informer is an important read, and one that charts the life and eventual missteps of the prolific studio, through the voices of the developers that created its games. Early on in the story, Kevin Bruner, co-founder and former CEO of Telltale, says that the early success of The Walking Dead set a high bar for the company's future work. We wanted bigger and more interesting licenses, so we had bigger and more interesting market opportunities, Bruner tells Game Informer, and we wanted to make sure that we did not go backward. We did not want The Walking Dead to be a fluke, or to be a one-hit wonder. That led to a mix of issues, namely being that Telltale leadership wanted to recreate the success of The Walking Dead in every game the studio produced, but were reluctant to deviate from the formula and take the risks that would get those results. Former Telltale narrative designer Emily Grace Buck explains that misunderstandings and miscommunication between the executive and developer levels hindered the process as well. She tells Game Informer of a fundamental misunderstanding of Telltale's audience that led leadership to, for instance, push for dark themes over comedy in Guardians of the Galaxy, and during some parts of the development of Minecraft Story Mode. Some of that came from publishing, says Buck. It seems like some of that came from the board's requests as well. There were misunderstandings and misinformation at multiple levels that caused things to go that direction. She notes that there were specific moments of creative conflict with Bruner during his time at the studio, as well, where he would ask for extremely large changes very close to ship date that would mandate crunch for a huge percentage of the studio. Many Telltale developers, both in Game Informer story and publicly following last year's layoffs, recorded toxic company culture and unrelenting pressure to crunch. Speaking to Game Informer, Bruner says that at an executive level, there was a push for that fast-paced culture, seemingly despite the human costs. For me, at an executive level, all the way down to the animator, if you see an opportunity to make the game better, and you know it's going to ship in a week, and you care about the content, it's really hard to walk away from the content and just say, you know what, this is as good as it's going to get. I am going home. Bruner tells Game Informer, we tried to create an environment where you really had to do that to survive at Telltale, because we did not have these 3-year-long production cycles. The full story on Game Informer is a lengthy read, but one that explores crunch, rapid scaling, and other factors necessary to understand what led to Telltale's sudden near closure at the end of last year. Can a small game studio survive and thrive without a big, successful game? The answer is yes, of course. But it's a common and thorny question, one that will be unpacked and examined by a trio of experienced indie studio leaders at the 2019 Game Developers Conference next week in San Francisco, in a special Independent Games Summit session on how to run a studio without a surprise hit. Speaker Christopher Langer, Animoyhag Interactive, Incorporated, Teresa Duringer, Temple Gates Games, Anton Yang X, Shard, Kid Fox Games, will share a talk about running small game studios without a surprise hit. In a series of 10-minute micro-taxi trio will respectively cover how to get client work, and how to balance it against original development, how to support game development through hardware and partnerships, and how to grow a studio's fanbase. to have increasingly successful titles and bootstrap that development with crowdfunding campaigns. It's all incredibly useful and relevant information for anyone releasing games in today's market, especially if you are involved in a small studio yourself. So do not miss it. Further details on this intriguing token, many more, are available now on THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GD 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019, visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company and former THEGAME developers. Conference kicks off in San Francisco in just a few weeks.